All right, we
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the place to be. I'm your host, Adam Mill. To the left of me is
got the governor.
welcome back, my brother. And we back with a return special guest, Jumbo One. How you feeling today, brother?
Feeling good.
All right, I got one thing to say before we start this. Um, do you hate the Alchemist or are you hating on the Alchemist? I, I need to know. We need to know. All right, back to your scheduled program. All right, I'll get better at it. I'm not a drama king, man. I mean, a lot of people say, certain people say I'm a drama king, and some people say otherwise. Okay, I watched the video, man, and I have so many questions, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, oh man, I didn't know how to react to what I saw, right? But
Yeah.
I understood you 100%. I was just telling Gov, I truly understood where you was coming from. So it wasn't a place of I don't think it came from a place of malice. It came from a place of disappointment. And you you highlighted in several times in the video that you like the Alchemist. You like him. You love his production. You think he's one of the, you know, greatest producers in our generation, right? In
Right.
today's time. But the fact that his style of producing has become lackadaisical, and that it leaves you underwhelmed. Where his grassroots come from and the people that he um done music with in the past, where he had great hits when he was, I believe that he produced Rest in Peace Prodigy first album. I forgot the name of the title of the album, it escapes me now. But he done a lot of classical work, and for him to now deal with the modern time, what we may deem as underground hip hop, it leaves you very underwhelmed. And before you get the mic, have the stage. Um, I'm going to assume, and I'm just assuming, that you really don't have a feel for the Griselda camp and the guys that come out of that camp, because Alchemist does a lot of their production. So, do you wish to elaborate on it?
Well, I'm going to say, since you brought up Griselda, guys like Griselda, Roc Marciano, I would even throw MF Doom in there, right? They are like leaders of that sound, and they started that trend. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't have an issue with them. What's beginning to
I,
happen is
okay,
that sound
I
is
disagree.
hold,
Lord.
hold on. What's beginning to happen is that sound is starting to become like a bandwagon sound. It's starting to kind of become trendy, right? And it's a very easy sound. It's very easy. It's simple as it's not much to it. And it's literally something that anybody can do. Now, I've been thinking about that over the past few days. Like I've been thinking about the video. I was going to do a follow-up to it with like some of my new thoughts. I understand fully why the sound is taking place because I believe it's an answer to what's been going on in mainstream hip hop. And once I came to that understanding, I understand why it's there. Because the South had really been running stuff for like 15, 20 years. And the production with the South is really busy. You know what I'm saying? It's sophisticated. The production is. It's more sophisticated.
Yeah.
And what happens in music, I learned this from George Clinton, is when music any let's just take hip hop for an example since we're talking about hip hop. It's become so sophisticated to the point that it can't become any more sophisticated. So when the music becomes sophisticated to the point where it can't go any further, it has to then revert and become simple again.
Break down. Yep.
So all of the drumless hip hop that's happening right now is kind of like an evolution. And I sat down and I really thought about that. So I understand why it's happening. And it might be necessary. It might be very necessary. So I'm somebody who likes I like genius level hip hop. So that kind of simplicity don't really appeal to me. All right. But while I'm also going to say that while the drumless style is playing underneath, over top you have MCs who are very sophisticated, which actually helps it out.
Big time.
So when you have the simple production, it has to have a sophisticated MC on top of it.
It must, yes.
You can't be lazy. You know what I mean? You can't be lazy or it's going to kind of mess it up. That's why it worked for Roc Marciano. That's why it works for Griselda. But it's a lot of people trying to hop on this bandwagon and it don't really work for them.
Right.
And that was my main issue. The Alchemist for the reason why I put Alchemist there, we brought him up, is because he's like the king. Like he's the main, he's kind of like the leader of this wave. You know what I mean? Seeing where he came from, knowing what he's capable of doing, and then seeing him jump on this wave is kind of, it's for me, it's a little bit of a disappointment. You know, like I know his abilities, and I know that he can mix it up. Like he can do, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do, honestly, but I know what he's capable of. And I don't know, for a guy like him, it's weird. I don't want to say anything crazy. I don't want to say anything crazy. I don't want to say anything wrong. And I'm not going to say what I was about to say because it might not be correct at all. So I'm gonna take that statement back before I even say it. But I hope I was able to color it in so y'all can understand my whole angle.
Yeah, because
Yeah, that's why we brought you on the show. For those who don't, was not clear on it, that you would, shed your light on it further. God, what do you think about it?
I actually
What's your
agree with it.
input?
As soon as I heard it, I was like, finally, it's like somebody saying the point that I've been making about. I just couldn't say it the right way. Like when he's saying about, it's like the certain thing about. There's a certain laziness when he's talking about. Like when it comes to getting all right, once you know how to find a loop and make the loop and make the loop come out, see, there's one thing to do that, but there's another thing to chop something up and make another loop. You know what I mean? People aren't really taking the time to really chop things and or splice this with something else. You know what I mean? So that's what he's talking about, the creativity aspect of it. You just find a quick, simple loop, and that
Yeah,
pretty much is it.
honestly, I don't mean to cut you off, but when you take something and loop it, can you really take credit as a producer? Because
Right,
that sounds like something a DJ does.
right. Right. So that's pretty much like yeah. So you take a loop and you just repeat a loop. Yeah, that's cool and all, but then at that point you really can't say, yeah, I took the time to really craft this. There's another thing we say, all right, I took the snare from this, I took the kick from that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that type of work is not really taking place these days. And so by pointing out a producer like Alchemist, because that's like the guy that's like the standard bearer. That was the point that I liked the most, was the fact that people just, because the name brand is stamped on there, this automatically say, oh yeah, this is gold right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's gotten to the point we see it as happening in fashion already. And it's happening beat-wise now. You're starting to hear with these albums that's coming out, oh, so-and-so name is on it. So just because that name is the name, we're going to automatically tell you that this is the greatest album.
right.
If it was a brand new artist coming out with that exact same album, they wouldn't even listen to it.
Exactly. 100%.
Sort of like how Kanye West, excuse me, went through the Yeezus phase when those beats to me, My Dark Twisted Fantasy, what's the album that came after that? Anything after Dark Twisted Fantasy, I was like, what the hell am I listening to? Um, But since Ye Stat was on there, I guess it was gold. Now I want to ask you guys this question: didn't hip hop started out with basic beats and loops and stuff like that? I mean, RZA did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I would credit RZA as one of the creators of that style. But you got to understand, when RZA did it, it was like a new thing, and it was kind of shocking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to hear Ghostface on the track like all I got is you, where it don't really have much to it. Like
Right.
that was shocking at the time.
And that was
You know what I mean?
re-simplifying because you think about how complicated the beats were just before that era. That was at the end of the whole New Jack Swing and all the rest.
Yeah.
So that was the change. That was the simplicity change at that moment, but you had the MCs on top of it.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
And Ghostface used to do that. He used to do that. I ain't gonna say he did it a lot, but he did it on like some of his solo joints, man. Like, and it was dope. It was dope.
Right.
But it's so easy. I don't know. It's so weird. I understand why it's being done,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to see it run its course. But like the whole thing with like putting the name on something and their name being on it, so it automatically means that it's good. And I just had a moment when I made that video.
Yeah.
I had a whole moment.
Hey, those are moments that count though. Those are moments. Those are moments that could change the whole flow of things. Because oftentimes that's all it takes. It just takes one comment one time, and they be like, you know what, that does make sense. And the next thing you know, they start to continue the evolution and staying stuck in the same place.
Like
Yeah.
I was telling Gov, I perfectly understood where you were coming from. But at the same time, like I was telling Gov, it's like searching for beats on YouTube or online, right? And then you put in light beats. So, let's say you have Dillinger or Alchemist type beats, right? And you're gonna find the copycats, right?
Right.
And first thing coming to your mind is like, that's good, but it's not like Alchemist or Dillinger made it, right? But then you find the little diamonds in the rut, but then it's like the beat's missing something. It's like it's like a beautiful woman with a shallow inside. She's beautiful from the outside. She's good to look at, but it's just missing something, right? So it leaves you underwhelmed. So as an artist, you're writing and you like this beat dope, but it's not bringing out my full potential for us thoughts. And I think that's what I got from it when when you posted up your videos, like, um, you're a dope producer, but it's like your beats is like, now it's simplistic and it's shallow. It's like it's missing something. And I was just telling Gov, like the perfect example for me, the perfect balance. And you guys may disagree with me. It's like when I hear like Dreamville type, when I hear he get a lot flat for it, but when I hear J. Cole production or when I hear people in that TDE camp, and when I hear their production, how soulful it is, and it gives you that underground edge, but it gives you that soulfulness to it. It's like eating a full plate, if you will. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
I
So
agree 100%.
yeah.
I think TDE got some of the best production, man. I hope I'm concerned about Kendrick Lamar. I hope moving forward, he just dropped GNX, which was a West Coast album,
Mm-hmm.
but I hope that moving forward that he still kind of has that same like style of production, like that TDE style. I hope that wasn't TDE, you know what I mean, producing him like that in that way.
Yes.
Right,
You
right.
know?
Because I didn't that's one of the things that really turned me off about the album, tell you the truth, except for the little hits they have like Mustard and Turn TV Off.
Yeah.
Um I'm not a big fan of like that West Coast bass sound. I'm sorry. I mean, not to be
Yeah.
biased, is this I can't front on what my ears like, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's a local sound, and that's a good thing. It's good to have a local. Every place should have a local sound.
I
That's
agree.
good,
I agree.
but it's good for that region. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
great for that region. But when you start going international with it, not everybody gonna mess with it.
They can't.
They can't
Exactly.
because they don't live around there, so they don't
Right.
know what it's about. You know what I mean?
Right. Like salsa. You can't you make everybody love salsa. You know what I mean? It's gonna work where it works.
Right.
You might like something
Facts.
that's got a little bit of that flavor on occasion. You know what I mean? If you do
Mhm.
it just right, it can be a hit, but every song, nah, that ain't gonna work.
That's true.
Facts.
That's true. So I'm with you guys. Moving forward, I pray that I hope that Kendrick will go back to that TDE sound, or at least bring something new and fresh to the game.
Yeah.
Um, because that last album, I was not really feeling the production on there like that. I grew to love it, but when I first listened to it, it was like I can't really get into the album because that Bay Area sound. But then it grew on me, but it grew on me to the point where it's not in replay value.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
I get
So
what you're saying.
that part. But we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna do like one more segment. If you feel like standing by and sticking around, we're gonna talk about the Jay-Z, and I don't know if you guys listen to Drake's Valentine's album. That's what I call it.
I listen to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah. So yeah, we be back. So Gov send a link, and oh yeah. Where can we reach you at, Jumbo One?
Um, Instagram JAMMA_WUN or Facebook JW Jammer One Hudson.
You heard that first from us. Where can they reach you at, Gov?
You can catch me on Instagram at Governor's Mansion.
Boom, you can catch Guess I Said, guessousaid.com for all your merch and all your excessive needs. And yeah, place the order, be a supporter. You know what I'm saying?
Place the
Be a friend
order,
and
be a supporter.
yeah, and, be a friend and pitch in. The cash app will be on the screen. So we're gonna move on to the next segment. Peace.
Lay this down just one time, you will not go home. They play around and spray the ground.